back to The Joy of Being You. My name is Michelle, and here I talk about all things esoteric, occult, symbolic, consciousness-oriented, and manifestation in nature. I like to reference Neville Goddard, bring up my own manifestation examples, point out the way I see certain contradictions in the spiritual community, to give people a peace of mind to find the power within them, to then also enjoy manifestation on their own journey. But before I begin this video, what I want to say is I have a couple of things that I offer through art and children's books. So what I'll start with first is my children's book, and it's called Who is the Voice That Lives in My Head? It's available on Amazon, and it talks about the dual nature of the mind versus the spirit. When to listen to your mind, when to listen to your spirit. What's the difference between the two? And is one, better than the other, or whatever it might be. So I just wanted to show you a couple of illustrations as I finger through these. And it's good for truly any age. I mean, any source of art or book is good for a child at any age because it plants the seed of something. They don't have to understand a damn thing, but so long as something is there that's presented and, I guess, called important by their parent or their guardian, then in the future it'll be referenced and recalled and hopefully easier to understand, and then with time become an actual practice in their life, which is the whole point of sharing my content and listening to other YouTubers, because when you understand this information, you can't help but to practice it and then also share with people because it's so exciting how it's worked for you. So that's my goal as well. I also have a lot of artwork on Etsy. So I have a little line called Life is Beautiful. And I just wanted to make consciousness art, kind of like life is good, but just it's beautiful. Like I see so much shit on the news that's negative, dark, and dreary, which in turn makes you feel negative, dark, and dreary. And I wanted to change that. So I love illustration. I love animals. I love nature. Little mousey mouse. It's a little blurry. Can you see? How do I get it to zoom in? Who cares? It's fine. But yeah, I just want to share my gift with the world. And I also do bigger cardboard art as well. So it says, I can't go wrong as long as I remember where I come from. And I made this years ago when I went to college, but it really lends a hand to this teaching as well. You can't go wrong as long as you remember where you come from. And where you come from is the divine that gives you the gift of awareness to truly create the dream you have in your imagination and walk into it in your physical plane when you really understand what I am consciousness really is. So I'm gonna read a verse from this book. It's called Neville Goddard, The Complete Collection. If you have it handy, it's on page 466. I also have the hardcover version because that also changes the way that the pages are numbered. So I had a verse and now I say, where to go? Okay, here we go. Man, through the medium of a controlled waking dream, can predetermine his future. Very true. That imaginal activity of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled leads man across a bridge of incident to the fulfillment of the dream. So basically, when you're immersing yourself in an imaginative circumstance and repeat that imaginative circumstance as if it was a memory and as if it truly did happen, or it is happening, or it just is who you are now. When you walk into that knowingness, immersing truly the repetitive thoughts, I think first and foremost. And to get the feeling and the emotion and the visualization just comes with having the thought initially. When you think a thing, there's nothing you have to force to visualize or feel. If you say, I don't know, this is funny, tequila. Some people are like, oh yeah, right? And other people are like, oh God. So you have your own predetermined assumption of what that thing does to you, and it makes you feel a certain way because the way you said yeah or God no is the feeling state. And a visualization most likely pops up in your head from hearing that word because you associate something positive or negative with it. So in that situation, if you think tequila is great, you probably think Cinco de Mayo, you probably think day drinking, you probably think, I don't know, like dancing with your friends or whatever, or like a really rough sophomore year in college, like it's just whatever comes to mind and it brings back either good memories or good emotions. Okay, that's your perception of that substance, and moving forward, most likely you will keep experiencing that good feeling state with that thing. However, if you have a very negative judgment towards a substance or thing, then most likely when you take even a little sip of it, it'll make you feel nauseous. Even when you look at it, you remember your ex in disgust and you're like, oh, tequila was their favorite drink. Like, God, no, right? So you don't have to come up with a visualization or a feeling state by any means, because the thought itself, the words you use, tequila, the word tequila, makes you think shit and it makes you feel shit, right? But it's either good or bad, and that's based on your judgment. So to get into a feeling state is not necessarily difficult. It's more so about stop trying to force an emotion, because emotions naturally come with the words you choose. So when people set intentions for manifestation and they run themselves crazy because they're like, well, I have to feel and I have to imagine and I have to engage my five senses. And it's like, you don't have to force it. What comes naturally to you? Let's say you want to manifest the best birthday ever, which I've been doing for the past 3 years now, and all of them have been great birthdays. You set an intention for what you want. I think 2 years ago, I set an intention to have throwback music be played all throughout the night, wherever we go. I don't care what bar. I don't care if you're telling me it's some like old-timey, retro weird thing that only older people, I don't care. It's 2000s throwbacks. That's what I want. Give me Britney Spears, Jason Derulo, Rihanna, like the early stages of Justin Bieber. I know that's like later on, but like you get what I'm saying. Like the era of actually good millennial music. I want that. And I remember I was sitting outside for like a week straight, because this was like when I was really trying to like force it in my brain. And I was thinking about my birthday, and like the fear comes in. It's like, well, what if it's bad weather? And it's like, it won't be bad weather. Don't think that. Just stop thinking the negative thing, right? But the ego comes in. It says, well, what if this? What if that? And it's like, no. That's the point of being a disciple. A disciple is someone who disciplines their thoughts. That's all there is to it. So when you discipline your thoughts, it means you tame them. And when you tame them, you become a force to reckon with. Because now you choose. Now you're not reactive. You're not automatically doing something, which is what the people in control of this world want from you. They want you very reactive because they've programmed you since the beginning of time with their negative news, with their negative social media, with their stupid negative politics, regardless of who's in office, with all their negativity. Why isn't there a good news station? Why isn't there, like, I don't know, like a bunch of TV stations of like puppies cuddling and like, I don't know, good news throughout the world, like people having clean water and like, I don't know, a new species getting out of extinction. Why don't they talk about this? That stuff makes you feel good, right? But the point is so you don't feel good. And when you don't feel good, you manifest no good. And when you manifest no good, the people in control give you a solution. Oh, you feel like shit? Here's antidepressants. I'm not knocking anybody for needing particular things, but I'm just giving you a very generalized overview of the strategy at play. You don't feel pretty? Here's hair extensions because you don't have long enough hair. I'm trying to think. I saw this the other day. It was like, oh, you're not tall enough? Let's break your legs and put metal implants in you so you can be taller. It's like, what degree are we going to of self-hatred to fit some sort of box of like what's perfect and not perfect when it comes to your physical form? Like that's why they don't want you to genuinely love who you are. And I'm not just saying from a physical sense, but from a soul level. Because when you understand the nature of these teachings, you know you can truly transform yourself. And when you're finally at peace with reality, because you know you truly do have a lot of control, but it comes with having to discipline your mind, something about you becomes very magnetic in nature. You start attracting more people because you're more so at a baseline of peace. A lot of people are operating at a baseline of anxiety. And when something is unstable, right, isn't that in science? Like when an electron separates from an atom, it like gets unstable and it's like, oh my God, I need to find an electron. So it finds an electron and it stabilizes and it's fine. And then the electron separates again and then it gets unstable and needs to create, that's how matter is created, I guess, right? By the way, that symbolically, that's also to a degree, the atom giving away an electron is essentially Adam, A-D-A-M, giving away a rib. When Eve is created through Adam's rib, it shows that the separation of an atom with an electron missing, electron, Eve, E, right? That then seeks more stability to another atom to then create again, and then the rib keep getting taken out because the electron keeps getting taken out, and that's how matter is formed. That's how it's like the story of creation, essentially. So it's from a romantic, religious, symbolic lens as well as a scientific one. I mean, is it right or wrong? I don't know, man. It's what I've learned and what I agree with. So when you find a baseline of peace, you have stability within yourself. And stability is something everybody wants. Everyone wants to just feel okay, and a lot of people don't. And that's the strategy at hand, is make people not feel okay so we can capitalize on the insecurities we've created them to have and make money off of you feeling bad. But if you choose to feel good because life is beautiful and you choose that, you don't need them. You don't need someone to tell you how to look or what to be. If you want to be healthy, you can. Just as an example, I have done body transformation. It's also through just doing things I enjoy, but I don't count calories anymore. I don't focus on a workout plan. It's just, what do I want to do? And I've noticed my shoulders getting more defined, having a slimmer waist, getting back to just how I used to be before I had another blow up of trying to figure out what this stuff was about. And it comes through visualizing what I want my body to look like. I just now tell myself I'm beautiful, and you don't have to agree with that. It doesn't really matter. But for the people in my life I've interacted with strangers, I'll be told that all the time. And it's not because I'm lucky or chosen or, it's just, what do you tell yourself? I've also told myself I was a wreck, and I've had people tell myself that too. That was years ago. But it goes back to the concept of everyone's your mirror. So think what you want about yourself, and it will get mirrored back to you through people's words and your physical body. I mean, I personally haven't done changes to my height. I've done changes to certain body parts, like having a better sculpted shoulders, having a leaner waist, and I see it working. I mean, you can look at my older videos. I feel like I have very long, healthy hair. I can't remember the last time it was this long. And it's because I just tell myself I can. I don't really actively do this. It's just, now it's just a belief. And I might not be your version of beauty, but that doesn't mean you can't manifest what your version of beauty is, right? So going back to this verse again, I'll say it one more time. Man, through the medium of a controlled waking dream, can predetermine his future. The imaginal activity of living in the feeling of the wish fulfilled leads man across a bridge of incident to the fulfillment of the dream. So this is actually where I didn't comment on anything. The bridge of incidents. I don't even know if I was starting with an example or not, but I can just give you one. Let's see. So if we want to go to the concept of beauty, and you say, I'm the most gorgeous woman in this room, and you just keep saying it, or for my men, you are the most handsome, drop-dead, breathtaking human being in the entire world, and you think this for yourself. A bridge of incidents in that scenario, coming from a very negative self-concept previously, sorry, it's shaking, would be, let's say you think like, oh God, I'm so ugly, no one will ever find me attractive or want me or whatever. And then you come across this stuff, change your self-concept, and are saying, I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, whatever it might be. People in your life will have to tell you you are handsome and beautiful. There's no negotiation. Whoever you interact with and come in contact with, whoever you so happen to cross paths with, is in a perfect alignment because they are of a similar resonance of you to then give you that compliment. Another example, even this morning, I had wanted to correct my deadlift form because for years I just kept throwing out my back in like subtle ways, but it was very frustrating. So I just stopped and I was like, whatever. And not too long ago, I was telling myself I have the best deadlift form. And like I wasn't researching influencers, I wasn't looking at videos. And out of nowhere, one of my friends was like, hey, I got out of work. Do you want to go to the gym and deadlift? And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And he's a very knowledgeable guy. He's strong himself and has friends who are also strong and in the gym often. And what he had done was corrected my form while we were there and gave me a couple pointers to tweak the amount that my posture. And I went from doing maybe 45s on each side, including the bar, to then being able to do 75s on each side, including the bar, and most likely still have more room to get above like 200 for like, I don't know, 2 or so reps. But that's without practicing deadlift for years. That's just other strength built from other things. So it was a bridge of incidents though. I set the intention. I was like, I don't care. I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to be negative. And then out of nowhere, my friend called, said, hey, I'm getting out of work. Do you want to go to the gym? And then brought up deadlifting. And I said, this is a great way to figure out my form. So he corrected me. Also fast forward, let's say, I think it's 2 weeks later today, right? I'm there at the gym and there's an older gentleman, very nice guy, not strange at all. And he watched my lift a little bit, and I felt that, I noticed that, I didn't think anything of it, and he comes up to me and he's just like, I want to give you something. And I was like, what? you know? But he has this little black tube and there's like some like white lotion, it looks like, inside of it, and he puts it on my hands and it turns out it's like liquid chalk. And he's like, because it's humid in this gym, your grip isn't going to be as strong, so take the liquid chalk and put it on your hands from now on, because now the moisture won't wick the bar away and your oils won't interfere with your grip strength. With that, I didn't even set a further intention to get better at deadlifting. I just told myself I'm so good at it. And out of nowhere, this guy I've seen for years and years and years and years, all of a sudden strikes the first conversation he's ever had with me to talk about something I've been subconsciously visioning myself to do better at. That's a bridge of incidents. So now I get to do more. Now I get to enjoy it. Now I feel sore in all the right places. It's corrected my posture. That's something I've really wanted, was to like not have a hunched over whatever. I wanted to have better form and technique with other things. So I would do exercises on the walls and I would, put my arms up like this and go up and down, because that, scrunches your lats and whatever, your back muscles. And it worked, but it wasn't like perfect. And now with proper deadlift form, my entire back feels straight as a board, because that's just you using all of your muscles properly. Finally, because I set the intention, because the bridge of incidents had to happen, because I knew what I wanted. So that's me living in my imagination, seeing myself with proper form, not having it at the time, now being able to kill it every time I go. And now I know why people rest on the squat rack after doing a deadlift session, because it's very tiring when you do it right. And now I get it. So that's that story. And I'm gonna continue with another excerpt here. We're 19 minutes in. So it says, if we live in the dream, thinking from it and not of it. That's very important. Think from it, not of it. This is like the same thing as saying, I want to manifest $1,000 a day. Like, you're just thinking of it passively, really won't do you any good unless you know manifestation works. The thing with thinking something, I think that's, a good start, But if you don't have an underlying belief or a foundation that manifestation works, I really think robotic affirmations won't work as well. I think it's you have to know that there's merit to this stuff first, because that is your deepest subconscious belief. If you don't believe in any of this at all and you're just blindly repeating shit over and over and over and over and over again, and you're like, I heard about manifestation once, this is stupid, it's not gonna work, you then subconsciously are signing yourself up to not see how it can work. You're just going to live a life of being blind, and that's fine. But if you really know that this stuff is real, I think robotic affirmations work very, very well, because again, like I said earlier with the tequila example, when you say a word, it makes you think of something immediately and it makes you feel something immediately. If you don't like the way that that word feels, use another one. And the more you repeat it, the more you repeat it, the more you repeat it. Sit with your eyes closed. That lets you disassociate with the physical plane and just focus on the word, which the visualization then will come naturally. And whatever $1,000 looks like to you will then pop up in your head. If you say, I'm a very successful artist, whatever version of that will happen to you in your head and will look different than mine, but we'll still get to the end goal in the ways that we see fit for what we want. Same with my deadlifting. I saw myself with good form and heavy weights on each side of the barbell, and then whoop, give it 2 or so weeks, and I was able to figure it out perfectly and nearly get over 200 pounds when before I was like stuck at maybe like 130. And it's not because I got stronger, it's just because now I know what I'm doing. So thinking from it, know manifestation works, and think from it, but not of it. Don't think of it passively. Really genuinely understand your reality is based on your inner world first and foremost. And then your external reality is what you interact with based on your innermost beliefs. Then the creative power of imagining will answer our adventurous fancy, and the wish fulfilled will break in upon us and take us unawares. I don't think we'll ever really know how manifestation happens. I mean, maybe that's an assumption. You'll just say like, I know how manifestation works, and then you'll figure it out, and that's going to be your niche. But I like this one last part that he said, the wish fulfilled will break upon you and take us unawares. The way I see that is it'll just happen out of nowhere, and you won't really know how or when or why or like what. It doesn't really matter. The other day, this is a really simple example, but I was in the grocery store and I really wanted to get grapes. And the guy that was also in front of the fruit was blocking the grapes with his cart by looking at the strawberries. And I'm just standing there trying to not get annoyed, but I get a little impatient and I'm like, ugh, he's taking forever. And then I think, I'm an idiot. I'm doing this to myself. He moves now. Now, you're moving, thank you for moving, thank you for moving, thank you for moving, tongue twister, saying it over and over and over and over and over again. And what that does is it makes a visualization of him leaving with his cart and me getting the fruit that I want. And within like 10 seconds, he left. Is it coincidence? I don't believe in that. So for me, no. For you, maybe. But if you want to get good at manifestation, really believe manifestation is starting with you. Everything is a manifestation of you. I really think that's all I want to do for this one. I had a lot to say. I have a cool story I want to share, but I think I'll do another video with that one. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me, feel free to like, share, and subscribe to my content. Send it to somebody you think it might help if the way I speak resonates with you or with the people you care about. Check out my Etsy, check out my children's book. What else do I have? I also have apparel, greeting cards, stickers, a lot of fun things. So head over to my links if you'd like to, again, support me. And until next time, take care. Bye.